I'm kind of like I think people like my because I'm kind of a unique kind of character.
And I have
Yeah,
the
so
Celtics
it's
as
not
like,
Fox,
like,
right?
And I love to
You just see how games and possessions
Safe to say that other
intense,
people
how they mean more.
I'm not putting him on.
I think the U.S. is going to obviously win this.
Hello and welcome to Nothing But Respect. My name is Harry Krinsky. I am joined, as always, by Patrick Redford, and we have a very special guest, Gavin Matts, comedian, writer on Hacks. Oh no, actor and writer, all performer on Hacks.
No. I played a writer on. Yeah. There's levels.
You played a writer?
Yeah, I played.
Acted as a writer on Hags.
Yeah.
Acted
very
as a
convincingly, I would say.
yeah.
You know?
So much so that it
Clearly,
just
you
got
fooled
me.
Harry, so it worked.
Yeah,
And-
I'm still in the customer service levels of acting, where you're like, your things are like, oh, we're a barista, and you're like, I've never been that in my life, so.
Importantly, you have a forthcoming special yet to be released. The Nothing But Respect Army. We'll check that out. But also your previous special, which predates this podcast, of course, predates us getting in touch. Well, I remember so vividly like how it came across me, which is many such cases, a Instagram reel, but unlike other, the way you shot that special, and I don't know if this was on purpose, or whatever, but like the breakout clips were like this really strange and cool, like upward facing angle where you're like, most of your head is in it, and it's this like almost like cinematic angle. And I just remember like pausing on that and being like, that's weird. And like the angle mixed with your very interesting delivery, like perfectly went from the hyper rare conversion of like 1 minute Instagram reel to immediate follow and like watch the stuff. Cause I was like, this is like, there's something very composed and put together and just, I should say, very funny about that special. So it was excellent. I really liked it.
I mean, that's just because most stand-up is like shot like utter garbage, like Netflix slop, like where everything is like so bright. You put on like every like put on any Netflix special right now of like stand-up, and it's like they're completely washed out for some reason. I don't know what that is, and I'm like, you should just shoot it as if you were at a comedy club.
Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, it sounds like from the angle Harry's describing, it's like seeing the inside of your nose was like a really important part of this.
Yeah,
Instagram
I wouldn't
reel.
say it's like that close, but yeah, it is very like it is very like up close.
I feel like we should start, Harry, with Return of the Broke Jumper tip line. Do you want to read? This is a very good one. We're saving it for you.
Yes, and then I've got a number of follow-up questions about this because you've told us some stuff about maybe you might be on somebody's broke jumper tip line. Not that your jumper's broke, but I'll get into it. All right, so somebody texted us, and I should say they texted being like, "Yo, I really can't have this get out." So if you don't, nobody tip off who it is. They wrote, Gary V has never set a screen on me that does not include him grabbing me by my pinky or loose finger or bending it back when I try to fight through it. And that this is the anonymous tip about Gary V. To me, this is like perfect sense. This is like, there's a certain type of entrepreneur and a certain type of basketball player who's like my favorite basketball player ever was the Ohio State point guard, Aaron Kraft. And this Gary V like strikes me as this intersection of like hustle pilled, grabby point guard. So the form master or like meets the function in this case.
Yeah, this makes total sense to me. Just like there's a type of like a way to be effective on the basketball court that it just involves being like as dirty as you can get away with. Like we're seeing a lot of that in the West Finals right now, but it's kind of hilarious and insane to apply that to like the YMCA or whatever. Just like running around screens, like elbowing guys in the ribs,
stepping
and
on heels of shoes so they like pop off.
Yeah,
that was like a move I've used before, but I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like
on purpose.
Whatever.
Who's to say?
Yeah, whatever. It's a Gary V playing like a game of decimals, you know? It's not a game of inches. It's all, he's a big number guy.
Exactly. Applying like getting off the game, being like, yeah, dude, like we should have maybe set up more screens there or whatever. And then Gary's like, what we really should have done is captured this whole thing on video and monetized it to and send it across the country. Okay, Gavin, have you hooped with any? Have you had any kind of strange celebrity encounters that you're willing to discuss on the Broke Jumper tip line?
You know, I'm kind of soft banned from like the comedian run in New York. So like,
What did you do?
you know, similar thing was up against like a Gary V type and kind of like, and I mean, this is like a longer story that I was a younger man and
I want to hear it. Please give us.
You know, like a guy who's like going too hard on defense and like, and also like jumping and kind of throwing elbows and like every time I'm like going up, a knee is coming out when I'm like driving.
Of course.
This guy, like, I did shove him and he did hit the ground and hit his head on the cement. Important. And his first words were like, I don't even know you, man.
No.
He did like he was like, I like apologized. Obviously, this is like later, but he does like run the run in New York. That was like in the New York Times. He is like the guy. So I've been like excommunicado, like John Wick styled from like the tournament. So it's been tough for me, but he did like follow up and be like, I apologized. And he was like, I'm sorry. He's like, let me send you a book. It's on anger management. Oh, and of course I was just like, are you gonna be fucking kidding me? But then he told everybody that he just wanted to send me a book on like the supersonics, which I'm not from Seattle or anything. So I don't know. What that was. He just lied to everyone and said he was trying to send me that, but he was trying to send me like The Power of Now or something. But I have hooped with people. Okay. Rami is kind of a Brunson type. We can say that. Oh, yeah, he's not much of a shot, but he does go for like the like reverse, like with his right though, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That's kind of his go-to.
That's a good move. Interesting move to pull off and pick up. I feel like anyone who can do a reverse layup is like that's impressive.
It's almost like he doesn't have a regular, like that is his combo pack one is like he's kind of just like on just a reverse almost unnecessarily.
I see that because he kind of has like he's rocking, you know, I'll see him around walking around Brooklyn and he's rocking like really fire like crazy ass pleated double RL pants or something like real billowy stuff. And he's a little shorter. And I just feel like if you combine those things, you're getting like smooth reverse layup point guard style.
Yeah, he's like a Brunson type. He's got like the big head, you know.
You gotta have a big head.
He's got a big head. Like it's bobbling. Like
I love a pickup player with exactly one move. When I'm like not playing a lot and start to get back into it, the only thing I will do is go like to the far right corner and just dribble as fast as I can with my left hand and do some fuck ass finish. And it doesn't ever work, but it's just like so fun to do that I can only ever do that.
Yeah, I haven't played in a minute, but I am very much like for some reason post, but not even tall, but you know, just been placed there for some reason.
You're talking about it like this is sort of a circumstance you're encountering. Like you're not an active participant. You just you wake up, come to and find yourself 13 feet from the basket facing the wrong way.
I'm always just I'm almost like hitting the 3 second all the time.
That is, I mean, those are, you don't want big men go that you sound to be forced into. Like, you don't want to be a big man in a new pickup run because you've just met bro and he's like elbowing you in the chest for a rebound. It's all very unbecoming. Wait, but so what's your game like? Like,
I would say like Steve Nash type, like that is involved. Like, getting people involved, being like this passing is gonna elevate me off the bench.
That's fun.
But people I was always on bench in high school, so
okay. And yet, despite Nash being one of the most beloved teammates, this unnamed, perhaps perfidious comedian won't let you thrive.
Yeah. You know, but that's not a teammate. That's like an adversary. That's like That's a which when you become like in your 30s, that's just the person who you're like, oh, that guy's here.
Right. I will say I did a little of my own research, and I texted former the only other comedian I think who's been on the show, Devin Walker, and I asked I was like, what's his game like? Like, how did he says that he got shadow banned, like what happened? And he hit me with Gavin's very good. He plays a little angry, and I didn't know he got shadow banned, but that's not surprising. So that's what he had to say about you.
Yeah, we've played together a couple of times. Yeah, you know what I mean. I've done a lot of work on myself since. I would love to be reopened, like, go back into those runs.
Dude, I mean, I was a huge problem.
Hopefully we can get you there. Yeah. I just realized you like Steve Nash, Canadian.
Love Steve Nash. I mean, this is kind of like Steve Nash, like not getting on the Grizzlies kind of did like change my entire life, because the Grizzlies then left Vancouver, where I'm from.
I see. You and I are sort of cosmically linked by another Grizzlies actual Grizzlies point guard. Because I remember when Jason Williams was traded for Mike Bibby, my mom brought the Sacramento Bee into my room and was like, Jason Williams is not on the team anymore. And I was like, hold up. This isn't real. There's not an NBA team in Canada. So that's how I found out about the Vancouver Grizzlies. Totally. And from that moment, I liked them for the last, 5 years of their existence or whatever.
My friend had a cutout of Mike Bibby in his basement.
Hell yeah.
And it was so awesome. I actually, it's like so random because it's not like a friend anymore, but it's like something I think about periodically, how like this kid who like always had the best birthday parties had like a cutout of Mike Bibby. And I was kind of only friends with him for the birthday parties, for like the rock climbing and like laser tag tip. But like he did have him. And I think about it all the time, this like life. And I was like, whoa, that's like, I could be in the NBA.
Oh yeah, you're like, I'm about as tall.
You can make that happen, yeah.
All right, well, so we got ahead of ourselves because I did. Speaking of, like I've followed you on Instagram for a long time. I was poking around doing some research today to try to like, okay, get prepped for this episode. There's not a ton of like, you're not like Knicks posting. Like you're not out here being like my favorite, like here's videos of me playing basketball, etc. But then when you dropped some stuff in the doc, there is like clear, crazy ball knowledge, like deep-seated ball knowledge. So like I would say, I'm curious if you disagree, are like a secret ball knower. Like you don't lead with it, but like there's deep ball knowledge. So what's the story? Like, how'd you get into, first of all, is that true? And second of all, how'd you get into, like, how did you become such a big basketball fan as a young British Columbian youth?
Well, you got like the Raptors were kind of popping at the time. So it's like, and Canada has like a thing where it's like, you got to play Canadian content. So you hit like TSN, the Toronto Sports Network, which was kind of like our ESPN if you didn't have access to that. And I was just like big on Tracy McGrady. I was like big on T-Mac. And I hate Toronto, like in a weird like New York, Chicago way, not in like a New York, LA way, just because I don't want to like I think Vancouver's a better city than Toronto or LA. So I like Chicago, you know what I mean? So I'm making that up. But I followed T-Mac to Houston, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of sticking with Houston through the Harden years. And then when I lived in LA in the year that Harden and CP were playing together and went deep into the Eastern or the Western Conference. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I moved to New York. And I was just like, I'm just going to be a Knicks fan. Like, I'm not going to do the Brooklyn Nets thing. I'm going to be a Knicks fan. They have like longevity. I was like, I could see the Nets being a team that leaves Brooklyn at some point. And I can't really be a part of that. I don't want to be another like fan diaspora kind of like, wearing the gear that's like then gone.
And you've already had experience with relocation too, so you can't be burnt again.
Yeah, I don't want to do another like finding big country doc 10 years later on like, Michael Porter Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie, the iconic net, Landry Shamet, Nets legend.
That's yes, Landry Shamet, like
Clippers legend, Nets legend.
But like, what era? Who was on the Knicks then? Is this like sort of between? This is like post Carmelo around that time.
Yeah, this is like RJ Barrett is gonna save everybody.
Oh no,
famous Canadian RJ Barrett.
Yeah, which you're just like, that's nice. The beginning of the Canadians taking over the NBA.
Well, so one thing I just want to say is there's a few people have kind of circulated this take online, but I'm happy there's a cathartic release here, which is like everybody has been like, dude, remember when we talked ourselves into Frank Ntilikina? Like Knicks fans were like he's actually like his box plus minus is actually off the charts. Like he's kind of like, he could be Patrick Beverley. And it's like, that guy sucks at basketball. Were you talking yourself into him, Gavin?
No, I'm not like delusional. Like it's hard to be like, it's hard to like, jump in on a squad that is like been around so long. And then like, you're like talking to friends like Max Friedlich, who, friend of the pod. Mm-hmm. He's like, I text him like last night and he's like, I'm nonverbal crying. And you're just like, you're like, I feel like I've put in time and like, I've watched like, I want to say like 50% of the games since I've like really committed. And I'm like, I just don't have that. It's really sad as like somebody that's not growing up as like your trained generational team. Like I don't have that, it's quite sad. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say Pakistan, but it's like there's some things going on that are quite sad to me about basketball. It's like if I didn't have NBA 2K, I'd be like, I wouldn't be a fan.
That's a very strange place to be in because like, whatever, like you like this team, like it must feel amazing to have them go to the finals, but like, do you feel sort of like what is this? Is it like wistfulness? Is it sort of like a soft sense of regret? Like, because that, like, I find that idea of like, really, really loving this team and like rooting for them and watching most of their games. But then like, there's such a gulf between that and how like Max is feeling or how so many Knicks fans are feeling. Like that must just, I don't know. Does that feel weird?
I mean, it's probably like, how like Zoran can't be president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you're just like missing something. Like there is just like, you're like, but then you remember, like I'm in this like Knicks supporters club that like my boy Yoni runs, who is like a Jumbotron god. Like
I wanted to ask about this eventually, but yeah, keep going.
He's like constantly on the Jumbotron, like anywhere he goes. He's wearing like costumes to get on planes though. He's like huge Knicks guy. And we're at Knicks Club in the first round. At RBC in Williamsburg, and that one was ugly, but it was awfully pretty at the same time. We have to cut that out because
we can leave it in. I guess you can.
I still got to go to Knicks Club, but
right.
But anyways, you know what I mean. There's just like a thing where it's like, okay, you're not from here, like locals only.
Well. It's the same thing as New York is. Max talked about this on the episode we had him on. It's like there's a type of person, which hopefully none of us are, who are like moving to New York and being like, my favorite part of living in New York is the bacon, egg, and cheeses. And it's like, all right, dude, you could just the other places have bodegas or whatever. Like,
totally. You can't spell OKC without awk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let me get a Brunson egg and cheese. Yeah, no. No, I'm not like that. I like good food. Like I like to go. I like to overpay at Vato.
Yeah. No, I mean, of course.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
there is something, maybe by the end of the episode we'll get to it, about you as like a foreign kind of Ronin style person fighting for various organizations. Like part of me is like, is there in the same way that like Brace Belden is like a dude from SF who is like, I need to go fight for the Kurdish liberation. Like, is there something there where you're like, I'm just a guy from Canada, but I need to like enlist in the Knicks army? I want to maybe tease that out. And then how did you find yourself in a supporters club? What does that even look like?
Yeah.
I mean, similar to like, your friends that like go and like watch Arsenal on Saturday mornings, which, I'm not going to do, but, it's just like my friend Yoni is just like this like super outgoing guy, and we're pretty close, and so he just started this like Knicks club, and now it's like a WhatsApp with like 50 people on it, and he's like getting reservations places. He's always wearing like, he is like, last year during the playoffs, he's the guy who was like wearing an Einstein outfit holding a beaker, and he is like at the street talk being like, we got to get our Brunson burner. But he is like, what's pure about him is like, he is like, 40. This isn't like a young kid. This is like an adult who is like seeking joy through basketball. And like that kind of energy I really like. Cause
that's beautiful.
I'm like watching this to be happy. And there is an element where you feel like, I haven't like earned something, and I get self-conscious about that.
I sort of identify with some of that stuff too, but I feel like the idea of sports fandom as like this torture that people like the idea that you're sort of addicted to being the one who's, being able to say like, I was there when it sucked. Like I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, and like, I think I've sort of just inherited some sort of fandom trauma for that, where like this year when they were bad, I found it very comforting. It was just like, I don't have to worry about any of that like expectation shit. I can just have fun with something that sucks. And so like, I guess the Knicks have really been like a long suffering team. Like it's sort of strange to think about it now. Like you've been there for like the best Knicks times in the last,
Totally. So that feels very
forever.
like, it feels like, but I've been watching basketball. So it's like, it's hard to be like, okay, I'm just like choosing this team to like, or like I have to suffer why do I have to suffer? Like, it's like the thing of like an artist has to like, there's like this weird thing with the Knicks where they're doing like the artist thing where it's like, you have to go through pain in order to make something good. Which I'm like, well, I always feel like we're at our best when we're like, we feel good about everything and bills are paid. And like, I talk to my mom, and I'm like, the Knicks are good, so I'm happy. And
yeah, I'm with you. I guess my point, I also reject the premise of like, you have to suffer to make this worth it. Like sometimes your team is good and everything's fun and you're with your boy Yoni and like, the sun is shining and that's beautiful and that can be enough,
Totally.
Like Harry is a Warriors fan and he's like truly touched by God. And that's like given him this level of sort of delusion about the team that I find to be extremely charming. And I think more people should be like that.
Totally agree. Because there's not one point at any point of this year where you were probably like, man, we could win a championship. Like you probably think that like periodically you're like, Curry could do it.
Oh yeah. Even until like we had like Jimmy Butler had exploded his knee. Porzingis had an unknown spiritual illness. Curry is out for the season, and then I remember like there was like a bad Cam Spencer game, and I was like, Cam Spencer or the other Spencer brother, and I was like, yeah, I think the Warriors don't have it this year. Like we're a game like 72. We had even when
Frak the rapper came out and did his Cam Spencer song to like,
dude. Okay, well let me tell you. I have a history with Frak the rapper.
We're for real.
Frak the rapper.
Has he banned you from a pickup run?
No, I like Frak. He went to my Jewish day school. He was in the grade above me, and he's okay at basketball. How do you know Frak?
It's just like one of the only people in SF I know, and he, in the Wild and Out stand-up comedy crossover of the world, where like sometimes you're hanging out at the cellar and you meet somebody. And then he came to my show in SF like last week or 2 weeks ago.
How did we get onto?
Well, I want to return to your to the wandering Ronin theory, because if you're analogizing this to Brace Belden, going to Kurdistan, does that make the Sixers or the Nets ISIS? I'm just trying to figure out who sort of fills that role in this analogy. Like, how did it feel to watch Knicks Sixers? Were you just like, because those are two sister cities that have this like real animosity for each other, and did it feel great? Like, did you feel like a real New Yorker, sort of, I guess, by being like, fuck those guys, we're not Philly? Like, what was your head at during that series?
I don't feel in a way a connection to the city. Although like in New York, I've like worked as a mover, like I worked as a mover for like 3 years. And I feel like that, like, you're like, there's a weird cosplaying with that job where you're like in the summer heat, like headphones in, moving boxes, like maneuvering through people, like, and you have like Nas Get Down in your AirPods, and you're like, there's like some kind of weird thing that you're like starting to like seep into this like other thing in an actory way where you're like becoming method. And I don't have that where with like sports though, like I'm not like hardcore. I'm just like I get really excited. I'm never like, yo, fuck them. Even though I'm like, I hate Embiid, but I can like feel that from other times in my life. But I'm also like, oh, he's really good. But I'm not like outside yelling, fuck Trae Young,
You have a very Canadian sort of equanimity you bring to this project, which I feel like we now have to ask you sort of about, like, you might be the right guy to explain Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he has this kind of unique swag. I feel like he's kind of a misunderstood guy in a lot of ways. Can you just give us the sort of like, I know he's from Ontario, but like,
sure,
what's going on there?
With this clip that popped up the other day where he like was pontificating on like Chet and like what to do with him, and he's like really taking his time, that used to be kind of like, it's interesting because you're talking about like progression, my first special or something, and I'm like, there was a very much a thing I was trying to do in terms of like slowing down and like consciously like pacing, and now I find that special of comedy of mine kind of unwatchable in terms of how I've like grown and paced myself differently. So I think what he is like, he it's very much like in stand-up, and I'm going to apply this to this, where it's like, it takes like 10 years to find your voice or something. And so what we're seeing is like the beginnings of him like finding his voice in media. And I think that's what we're like making fun of, is somebody like trying to find their voice. You know what I mean? These are essentially like open mics and like things that like we shouldn't be seeing.
Right.
It's like LeBron now. It's like it took him like way longer because like it was like stardom immediately. That's why he goes through like a lying phase. And now he's very much like an old man, and that helps him. He was always an old man.
Dylan, I'm just thinking now, I don't know where in Canada he's from, but like he came up on the Grizzlies and he like sort of personified the like second era grit and grind thing, and yet is a Canadian guy, and that team came from Vancouver. So maybe he's this sort of like syncretic figure who unifies Grizzlies eras past and present. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Grizzlies in Vancouver were quite bad. I mean, they took Big Country over. They took Big Country over Steve Nash, and the owner was like, "Oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice taking a hometown boy?" Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, that would have saved the franchise and stayed here, but they didn't want to. And they also let people be like, "We don't want to go to Vancouver," and I'm like, why? It's like really nice. It's like, and now everyone's like loves Vancouver, and I'm like, well, if they would have an NBA team, but now, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. But Dylan Brooks is, I think, the best. Like I think that is like, in terms of like what a Canadian athlete like is like, to me in my mind, it's like a hockey player going back out with like a broken tooth, and like that is like Dylan Brooks, except I don't think he's like a rich kid. He's like from Brampton, Ontario, which is like where a lot of the Canadian basketball players are, which is like, okay, segregation did something there. But Yeah, he's so good. I mean, every team he leaves sucks after.
No,
nobody's noticing this pattern yet.
Yeah.
It bothers me, and people don't like him.
Yeah.
It's like there's hockey.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
There's this hockey player, Brad Marchand, that like everybody hates because they call him like a rat, but it's like every team he's on is like good. It's like, what do
You gotta have a rat.
I don't understand why people don't like this player type. It really bugs me.
I mean, I completely feel this way about Draymond. Like everybody's like, he's so annoying. I'm like, dude, he's so good at winning.
He is, and I don't like him, and that's how I know he's good.
Right.
You know who this is? This guy is different than either of those two because he's not like as adversarial. But watching Josh Hart in this series in particular has like really kind of, I don't know. He seems like a very, very important player, and you watch him play, and it's like, okay, he was 3 for 4 with 17 rebounds and was like plus 15 in a game the Knicks won by 3, playing 41 minutes. Like, how does that make any sense? But then you're just like, you need a guy who's just good at basketball. He's like this sort of a benevolent version of this rat style archetype I feel like you're describing.
Yeah, he's a little different because he's not like talking shit as much as he's like cracking jokes with his friends constantly.
Yeah.
So there's something like nice about Josh, like that, like, you know, he's like a room. They have like a lot of guys that are good in the room. Like, it's like their big issue right now is like Mitchell Robinson is like depressed, and I'm like, you know, all those guys are in there like being like, dude, like I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Like that's like what that squad is, and I think Josh is kind of that. He's like a good friend. He's like, you haven't seen him in months, and he's texting you to check in.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Whereas
like the TikTok going around where he didn't get high-fived on the Lakers, you know?
Yeah.
It is true to also to like contrast it with the like Rodman wanting to like kill himself in his car before practice, and like I just imagine asking Jordan, like being like, yeah, Rodman's late because he wants to kill himself, and Jordan being like, God fucking damn it, dude, I hate this guy.
Yeah. And meanwhile, all the Knicks would be out there like doing some weird, like whatever OKC thinks they're doing is actually what the Knicks are doing, and it's not calculated.
Yes. Yeah. An OKC Knicks finals would actually be amazing because you would see sort of like positive male friendship in like a more Zoomer sort of cast where it's like, we're going to do front facing videos together. And like, that's going to make us feel better versus the Knicks where it's like, hey man, you should try going to therapy. I think that would really make you feel better.
The Knicks are doing like, what is the dude bro like trick shot thing? Like
dude perfect.
Dude perfect. Like the Knicks are doing like dude perfect together, and like the like OKC is kind of doing like MD Foodie Boys kind of like really digging out like everything, and it's like the guys in the back being like, ooh.
Yeah. I wanted to say one thing on the Shai thing, because I think that the stand-up comedy thing makes sense because in general, I mean, stand-up comedy has changed drastically with the front-facing video explosion, and like people have to feel like they have to, and I understand it totally, like put their work out before it's like fully cooked. I think like if it really takes 10 years, like you know 30 years ago, whatever, you'd work at your craft for 10 years, then you'd get a comedy special, like a Comedy Central special, 30-minute hour, whatever. It's now like you're 2 years in, you're releasing videos, and that is both good and bad. The Shai thing is funny where when you are in the public, you have to be like you're forced to be a quarter-baked person in the public eye to like get a bag. And so in some ways I do really feel bad for Shai. Like I think about his like TikTok dance videos that he made as a 20-year-old kid, right? And that he has basically been like in a prison of that making, because you can't kind of like incrementally move off of that as a person, even though naturally like me at 20 is so different than me at 30, but I'm not videotaping every 10 minutes of it. So maybe there's some reason. Maybe I should feel bad for Shai for saying, you know, speaking in
it's like,
Drake lyrics.
It's like Tom Hardy's MySpace. You know what I mean? He's like, it's like not, you know, that's not, you'll be like, you show that to like a guy who's like, my favorite actor is Tom Hardy. And you're like, have you seen his MySpace? He'd be like, what the hell? Like, why is he naked like this? Like, it's like that. It's like Timothy's like comment on opera, you know, where people like, were like, that's so negative. He's just being like, well, no, he's saying he just doesn't know how to articulate what he's like trying to say, which is like he doesn't want TV and film to like fade to nothing in the way that opera people don't go see it.
Yeah, there's like a love for opera almost in that comment that's like hard to make out because it just seems like he's talking shit, you know?
Yeah. And obviously it is hard because like the social media kind of like landscape has kind of changed everything. And then even like the way people like go about like, I mean, like Boozer being number 2 in the draft, you're like, well, that is like a nepo thing that's like starting to happen in sports in the same way that that's happened in like, you know, entertainment and comedy, you know?
It is like there was a big Jay Kang feature in the New Yorker last year about the phenomenon of nepo athletes. Like now that you mentioned that. And it's like, yeah, that was a really good story. And like, it seemingly doesn't make sense when you think about like a nepo athlete because it's like, oh, you have to be 6'10" and like good at basketball. Like you can't just because your dad like, you know, coaches the team or whatever. But it's like you need access to those like coaches and shit. Like it is expensive and stuff. And you know,
it's like
weird.
It's like everything that we kind of like we are all the same age. It's like, you know, the end of Coach Carter, like Chiron of like being like, where did they go? Where are they now? And it's like, if you did like the Boozers, it's so, they're like, well, they just like, now they work their dad, they're fine. You know, it's like, there's no like,
it's all good.
It's like they're getting commercials because like their dad was kind of
sprayed his hair
all right sometimes. Like he had some good
Yeah.
seasons. Like I'm not gonna like knock Carlos and like
No, Carlos was
those
nice.
the bull squads, but
He's a funny NBA player to have like a super elite son who like might be, you know, an all NBA guy, franchise changing, whatever, because he was kind of just like, he had a very boring game as I remember. Like, I feel like he was one of those like sort of fake Mo Williams style all-stars a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can't think of him doing a single cool thing, you know?
yeah. And he's like kind of to me is just known as being bald, and then his sons have like Gen Z haircut.
Yeah, I'm going to actually follow exactly in my father's footsteps in every sense of the word, except for my hair. I'm going to have like,
Which I'm like, I guess it's actually a knock on their game to me, because then I feel like they're kind of like, they still have their hair, so they're probably like a little low T, and his
Soft.
game was like very high T, you know?
The other, I guess the thing I think about with Carlos Boozer is how strange it was that he, who like grew up in Alaska, it was in the NBA at the same time as Mario Chalmers, who grew up in Alaska, and just like how sort of strange and cosmically linked that was. And I don't think there's like no one lives in Alaska. It's so weird there were two NBA players at the same time. So that's very charming about him.
I didn't either. They were both from Alaska. That was also like Sarah Palin. Like I basically I haven't thought about Alaska since Sarah Palin. I would say.
When I think Alaska, I think cruise. I don't think.
Yeah. Or airlines. Yeah. Wait. You had something earlier, Gavin. You said something about 2K saving your life, and this is concerning to me. So I say more about this.
Oh, not like saving my life, but saving like my NBA fandom, because like, you know, kind of the peak NBA 2K years are like, you know, 2K like 8 to like 11.
And why were these so fire? I was not a big 2K. I was not allowed to have video games as a kid.
This is like the beginning of like my career.
Okay, got it.
With like story mode, you know, and it was just like there was just like something different about the game where it's like now all of those games, which I don't play anymore. So, because they've been like, you know, parkified, and like, it's like a Fortnite of NBA kind of thing has happened. Like those are kind of like the purest forms of the video game, where it's like everything happened like system wise and mechanics wise in the game were done in that time. And now obviously like it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. But those were the games with like the GM mode, and like you would have like a GM mode like on live with your friends, and like you'd be like, you know, it's when you start to get down to like the creative players. And now obviously like microtransactions and everything have ruined those games.
There, yeah.
I actually can't really think of how a 2K game could become Fortnite-ified. What does that mean in practical terms?
Well, you know, like, so there's like these microtransactions, which are probably the worst thing to happen to the like black community since like Reagan put crack in it. And
hey, it's not just a black community. I'm telling you, my brother has sunk untold amount of money into VC.
No, for sure. And yeah, the VC, it's like, you know, you're like, you go into the park and it's like a weird open like chat room. It's like Roblox or whatever. And I mean, like, I'm just at some point you become too old.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes perfect sense to me. I feel like my last 2K memories were like 2010, 2011 era. Yeah. That shit was so fun.
So fun. And then you like try to like, you're like sad for a weekend now and you're like, okay, let's hit 2K. And you're like, what is happened to the game that I love?
Yeah. I want to do an episode on this eventually, maybe in the NBA offseason, but there's another strange, because I'm totally like the effect on 2K on like sports or basketball culture is sort of, or especially basketball media is kind of like understudied, I think. One, I had this really surreal experience a few months ago, or last summer, I should say, of going to a park in Brooklyn, and an overtime park takeover was underway by accident. And what happened was about 15 teenagers, all functionally dressed like avatars. Like they were almost like wearing stuff in the style. One of them had a shiesty on and a Vince Carter Nets jersey on, and then like lacrosse pants or whatever. Like they were dressed like emoticons, like Roblox emoticons or whatever. And they were acting like
that's awesome.
They would shoot and then they even say this. They say the words, and not just them, but like a lot of people say this, like the word emote, which I find to be incredibly, sinister thing to say. But they're like,
yeah,
you
show
have
don't
this,
tell.
Yeah, definitely show don't tell. You get this weird thing where there's now a whole universe of children who believe that that's what basketball is like, and then they are playing basketball like they are attempting to like beam themselves up into the internet, such that you get this park takeover where a bunch of people are playing dressed like emoticons, being recorded by an Instagram and then beamed to the internet. And it's like, this is like, it's almost like how when Liz on the show was like, the problem isn't that gambling is take over the sports, it's that like humans are starting to think like gamblers or machines or whatever. It's the same thing. Like the kids yearn to be beamed up in a way that I'm like, fuck, dude. That's
no. The way that 2K operates now is, I think, a precursor to almost like prep you for the DraftKings. It's like they're getting into you now. It's like, okay, the way that you spend and the game revolves around money, and then when you're old enough, you move on from 2K and it becomes DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. And then basically the real NBA functions like 2K for you. And something I'm excited about is when those emoting children, when that cohort becomes NBA players, because you're seeing it now. Like Darren Peterson was a Julian Newman neon jersey kid. Yes. And that like that era of sort of fucky internet basketball guy has like become NBA age. My point is I'm excited for someone to hit a game winner and then do a bunch of emotes or like play with some costume shit on, you know?
Yeah. For the celebrations to get even crazier.
Right. Yeah. I mean, cause they're already on some fucked up, like like Jamal Murray doing the like building a bow and arrow out of loose parts and then firing it. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wait,
They're
there's a
like,
construction
"We need to
element to
have
it?"
something."
Yeah. He's doing like he's like you know how clowning is making its like 7th comeback in the Brooklyn comedy scene. Like he's
Well, it's a big Vulture article about the LA clowning scene.
yeah, friggin'
Interesting.
LA clowning scene. Fuck. Never mind.
No, you can get it. I cut you. I cut you. You can get it.
Steve Ballmer, you know, seems like trading James Harden. Whatever, dude.
Keep that in. Keep that in. Wait, I want to ask about something you added to the run of show. My attempt to be in White Man Can't Jump.
Oh yeah.
What happened there?
Okay.
The remake, I presume.
Yes.
Of course. Well, this is also like a kind of unspoken rivalry I have now with like Jack Harlow, sort of. Like he doesn't necessarily like know it's happening, but like, I mean, in 2020 July, I tweet, Jack Harlow looks like the guy that rips movie tickets at the theater.
That's facts. He does.
Pops. He quote tweets it. He goes, wow. He goes, wow. He goes
Just
on
wow.
He goes on SNL.
He just hits wow.
And he quote tweet wow.
Okay, got
he
it.
goes on SNL, says that joke in his monologue. And
Like not like people are saying
meanwhile,
this about me. He says it about like he just rips it basically.
he was like, people say this about me, but he's not ripping it. He's not ripping it, but
He's reclaiming.
in a way he is ripping it, you know? In a way it's like that I said that about you, but it's fine. It's fine. But this starts in my head. So meanwhile, I know Kenya Barris has like, I was like close to getting a couple like roles on like, you know, his like Black AF, being like white guy being like, who knows ball. And so I write this script called Adopted-ish where, Kenya Barris adopts like a white kid that's like too old. And I use this to get a meeting because I'm trying to like, I knew White Men Can't Jump was like,
You Trojan horse, like you for real just made this so you could get the meeting.
Wow.
yeah. So I was like trying to get a meeting with Cabo Blue, whatever Inc. to like, I was playing chess in my head. I'm just, chess, not checkers. I was writing a full ass spec script for no reason. Oh my God. Because he had this movie Cube in my head where like a white guy hits his head and then Ice Cube is like his conscience. And I was like, I somehow found that and I was like, I want to be in that one day. And when I still like had potential anyways, that could never happen now. But yeah. And then so like for the White Man Can't Jump, I made like a hoop tape even.
Wait.
I cut together like I cut together like a bunch of clips, like I put Kanye over it of like me just like hooping alone and I like interspliced it in between like my audition tape.
Can you send us this tape?
Huh?
I need to see this tape. Can you send us this
I don't know
tape?
if I can like send you the audition just because of like how embarrassing that is, but I can send like, I definitely have me having put Kanye over like some hoops, you know?
Yeah. We definitely need that.
so
Okay, and did you get a meeting?
I mean, I had a meeting, I didn't hear, but it wasn't with him.
Fuck.
Damn.
Well, I have to say, I did actually kind of like that movie, the remake. I thought it was pretty good. But
I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. You know, you can't.
Of course. That would be like, I mean, that's like, yeah. That would be like watching the Vancouver win the championship after in some hypothetical scenario. That is really funny. That's amazing.
It is like,
I mean, Jack Harlow is bad at basketball. He's not very good. You're probably better than him.
I would love to play, but I know he's probably training with like Lethal Shooter and stuff, you know? Yes. Everyone is like, why are these guys good at basketball? You're like, they're training with Lethal Shooter.
Yeah, they're shooting on rims with nails stuck to them. Like that would make anyone good.
That is really funny.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
All right, wait. Let's go through some of these other ones that you sent, because I feel like
I gotta say, among NBR guests, you might have been the person who contributed most to the run of show, for which I thank you, because there's a lot of good shit in here.
Yeah. I mean, I love the pod. I love basketball. I love what should we talk about? Dennis Schroeder?
Yeah, what's up with Dennis Schroeder's
Should we
Instagram
talk about
captions?
Cavs Knicks blowout?
Yes.
Those crazy Cavs home games where they have Verhow doing the pregame, their thing is they pull out the sword. Did you guys see that?
I did see that.
And then they
amazing.
just kind of do with the sword. That is a weird thing they're doing. They never did that during LeBron years.
No, because they had.
Yeah, the sword seems new. I gotta say I like it.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is Schroeder putting on? Also, Schroeder corollary. Him as a Sacramento King was one of the stupidest things that ever happened. It was so fucking bad. They have nine. They had 9 point guards, none of whom can dribble, and they paid that guy $20 million a year. And he started the first 2 games, and then they realized oh, he's not in a Germany uniform. This is stupid. We got to get him out of here instantly. So it was great to see him flop in the playoffs. I wish my boy Keon Ellis got more burned, but.
Yeah, I like Schroeder a lot. I remember the game where he took the Atlanta Hawks team over from Jeff Teague, which was in the playoffs, and he had the white patch in his hair. But I had seen someone posted that he is the worst German of all time.
Yeah.
But I kind of like his nonchalance right now, because he's posted after every his social media person or him posts after every lot, he's still posting to
Have you seen this,
Instagram,
Patrick?
and he was
I'm looking now.
He was down 0-3. It's
The down 3 Aura post was crazy. It
was
crazy.
it's
Wait,
so
how
cool.
many Instagram followers do you think Dennis Schroeder has?
Oh man,
4.7 million.
He has 5 million. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. I mean,
He has been around. It's a guy that starts to feel like he's been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. He's still looks the same, in the same shape. His shoulders are the same width.
He does have the Perry Ellis has been in college for 22 years, except with the NBA.
I kind of like that he. Most people sort of treat their summer national team offseason obligations as something you have to do, whereas he treats the NBA season as something you have to do to get back into the Germany uniform, which I like.
He is 0 and 0-12 in Eastern Conference or in conference finals in career.
Amazing.
I think only maybe that's not in. I don't know if he ever went in the West, but
I gotta say the Cavs losing was amazing. I really like how this Eastern Conference playoffs went. Because we kind of talked earlier about how the Knicks play with this sort of sense of fun. They know themselves. The Cavs just kind of seemed anxious and almost they were winning on accident, in the first 2 series. And you have Atkinson saying the thing analytically we should be up 2-1, and it's you guys are losers, man. I'm so sorry. This is the perfect way for them to go out.
dude, he stinks. He's looks nervous to talk, and he doesn't know. It's you get as far as Donovan Mitchell's ever gotten, and you're and he has a good game 4, but you're what is this team and what is everyone talking about? The talent, they had Dean Wade starting, and the big adjustment in game 4 is to start Strus.
Yeah.
And I'm how is Dean Wade on a team that could possibly win a championship?
Yeah. Wait, you have something in here about Dean Wade's intro lineup shaking everyone's hands.
Oh yeah.
So everyone does their signature high fives and stuff.
They're emoting.
He's just out there closing deals.
Crazy.
They're
And then
spending
Dean
VC on custom emotes for the
Yeah,
for
they're
the game.
sheesh.
Yeah.
They got Tyler Harrow tattoos. You know how he has a tattoo of Denzel Washington on his leg?
Does he really?
Yes, I love that. Speaking of Jack Harlow, famous muse of a Jack Harlow song.
Yeah, he has like a weird like white, or he has like a white guy's favorite black guy's like Mount Rushmore tattoo almost on his leg.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's so sick.
You gotta post that in the show notes. But yeah, Dean Wade just goes through and straight up shakes.
Yeah. Like just regular. Do you think he's doing a kind of like derpy anti-humor style thing, or do you think he's just like actually all business?
I don't know.
Yeah. Because I do feel
It's like if you're a white guy whose name is Dean Wade, people are gonna assume that you're a handshake type of character, So maybe he's just playing into the role of Dean Wade.
Yeah, and he's like a defense guy.
Yeah, what is he supposed to be good at? Because I feel like I've watched him be effective in games, but this entire playoffs, it was just like, you need to get this guy off the court right now.
Well, I was just like, who is gonna like, what was he gonna do in that series? And then in game one, he knocked down like 2 of his corner threes, and I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't familiar, and then it just disappears. I mean, similar with like Evan Mobley, who you're like, if he had a time machine and went back to 1980, he'd be the most dominant player we'd ever seen.
I tweeted something stupid about this, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this, which is I was thinking about, because Evan Mobley is on the shoots a hard ball all-stars right now. He is fucking flinging that thing. And I was thinking about like he was on the Compton Magic, the very big, crypto funded AAU team, which is kind of crazy.
The Bitcoin, yes.
The one that was like, we're going to save youth basketball with Bitcoin. Didn't quite work out, but he's
got to link up with Dinwiddie.
Yeah, seriously. But so what's funny about it, and he's, whatever, it's just child star, whatever. He's 12 years old on the Compton Magic, this Adidas like deep state team. And from 12 years old, him and his brother were shuttled through basketball excellence. They are having lunch meetings with Lethal Shooter. They're like everything, right? And I just don't understand how you can do all of that and then come out and shoot like that. Not one person in the deep state was like, dude, like beef, like bend elbow, fucking knife, elbow, follow through, whatever. Like, why does he shoot like a catapult? Why didn't anybody show him Klay Thompson or anybody, any other cooler shooting form than what he has?
I feel like he was just taught originally basketball by the most old school person, like an uncle or something that was like, it's just the shot to me, and his whole like vibe and structure of a person, just feels like a different era of basketball in like an 80s way.
Yeah, it's like the things you look at a player like that and you're like, he should be the perfect modern player. Like, he's athletic enough to do some stuff on the perimeter. He's a good passer, but it's like, that's so true. It's like he was raised by guys who like, big men do not shoot jump shots. Like, don't worry about that. Yeah. That's not your problem. And so he's like stuck between eras, The
last people in California who believed that too. Like the last 4 remaining gentlemen in Long Beach who weren't like, actually, you need to shoot 45 threes.
Don't you feel like I feel like he needs to like incorporate over the summer like a hook shot of some kind and just like lean in on it, because I feel like he's not like banging in the post, but I feel like he needs some like Duncan-esque adds to his game.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Mobley now. He might be like the best player who doesn't have any moves. Like that guy, he doesn't do any moves.
He is
and
literally, it's like a blank
moves.
slate. Yeah, it's all about moves.
Every time he gets the ball, you can just see him thinking like, should I do it? No.
That's the thing about the Cavs. They have no moves.
Every guy, one move.
Every guy has like a move, but it's not like moves. It's like Harden has move. Like Donovan Mitchell added that like weird like sweeping like,
because he needed a move.
Yeah. And he didn't have any moves. They like all shoot themselves. Jarrett Allen, no moves, just afro.
Yeah.
Merrill,
the
no
Knicks,
moves.
Meanwhile, every single one of those guys has so many moves. Like Brunson's whole thing is moves.
Brunson has moves.
Mikhail
has moves. Like he is like that weird fadeaway that is like almost like DeRozan-esque, but works.
it's like his body becomes a perfectly straight line at like 45 degrees.
Yes.
And they'll do that thing when like whenever anyone plays zone against them, he'll just sprint from the corner to the center, and like the second he catches it, he'll just pop it. And it's going to be really funny watching Wemby defend that in the finals if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Mikhail that I think makes that special is he is one of the most symmetrical looking human beings I've ever seen in my life. And so there's something about that where he's always like looks the same on either side, butterfly style.
It's so true.
It is. He does have like, he's got perfect clavicular. Would really love that guy.
Yeah,
Incredible facial symmetry. Or actually maybe really not like him because he's racist. But
Yeah.
other ways.
I want to talk. I mean, Game 5 of the other series is tonight, but I do want to sort of get your impressions of how this like incredible series has gone, but also like what you think of Oklahoma and San Antonio as cities.
Oh yeah, you had some
We've
notes
teased
in
in the
here
show
about
notes.
smoke for these cities.
I mean, both places like suck. Like Oklahoma City sucks. Like Oklahoma is like whack as like a whole, as like, I mean that like Tulsa is like, they call it the Williamsburg of like Oklahoma, and that's where all the cool people live.
That's what people say.
And I've had, but I've had some good times. I've had a couple of good times in Tulsa, so I can't like write off the state completely. Like Tulsa, I flew into, and like
what are
the
you getting
booker of
into
the
in Tulsa?
I did like a jazz club there, and like a rock venue. I've been there twice.
Okay, fire.
Sam Kinnison's grave, shout out to a guy who did comedy that I don't think is funny, but his grave is there. I went there. There's nothing to do, but it's like my Oklahoma was like the person who picked me up to drive me to my gig. They were working at the airport in a kiosk, and they just like closed the kiosk up, and were like, "Okay, I'm like driving you." I had to go meet them at their kiosk, like in the terminal. And they're
So
just
there's,
like
like-
kind of weird alt kind of vibe going on in Tulsa, but Oklahoma I think sucks, like bad, like the city, like where the team is and everything, like that is like got to be like one of the worst places in America.
I've been to Oklahoma City. I did have one really good burger I'm not being like, I have a little tummy ache, whatever. This burger ruined my weekend. Like I had it on Friday, and it was like, I was feeling it and thinking about it, and it was sitting with me until Sunday when I left. Cause I was working a production job there. And then the other thing I would say, and this is many such cases in our failing empire here, way too many bird scooters. It's overrun with bird scooters. There's 40 bird scooters for every 3 Oklahomans in Oklahoma City. And so those are my two real like big problems with
a good tell of a city when you're traveling America, like a good gauge of it. And I've been to like a lot of states. I would say like I've been to a lot of places. Is a city is good if there is a lack of bird scooters. Like if bird scooters can't really work there, it's not a great like whether or not that means like they can't exist there because it has seasons,
right.
or like the people are just like too crazy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really work in Seattle. It doesn't work in Chicago, New York,
Yeah. What's the most bird ass city you've encountered? In your
I mean,
travels,
definitely
Gavin?
Austin is like a bird ass city. Like,
I'm thinking Denver feels very birdy to me.
yeah, it's like Paramount Plus ass places where you're like, what the fuck is this?
San Diego's also I've experienced lots of bird scooters there.
Yeah, military towns, they love like birds
Yeah.
scooters. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Dude, my dad did a
It's a better
weekend in
tech.
San Diego with his partner not that long ago, and I was like, "How was it?" They're like, "We took Lime scooters everywhere. It was amazing."
Yeah.
Like they built their vacation around it. That's like
Goofy.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
And
also,
He listens. He
yeah, go ahead.
talk your shit about him. He doesn't listen. You can say whatever you want.
Well, I was gonna say it's like that. You don't really obviously all respect to your dad, all respect to my dad who also loves bird scooters. You don't want to build your city around catering to them. you,
Yeah.
you want other people with more swag, more motion.
I mean, it's just sad that it's like we should have like the country should have been built knowing public transit would be so important, and because like car companies and oil companies like whatever bought the whatever I'm talking about, we've allowed these things like city bike and like bird scooters to come up, where I'm like, we should just have like public transportation. So when people are like complaining about shit too, I'm like, man, fuck Rashida Jones and City Bike and like Dan Levy and like any like nepo ass person that does an ad for the bank, and then I have to see their ass on the like bikes that the bank pays for.
Totally.
Dude.
Sorry
I'm
to
with
go
it.
on a rant about
No,
that.
I mean, this makes total sense to me. You've been to San Antonio. Did they got bird scooter there? Is that happening?
So San Antonio, like, much respect
It's Charles
to their fans.
Barkley, right? Yeah. What?
I mean, I wouldn't know because it rained like the day of my show, and everyone was like only like 6 people showed up. Out of like 40 something tickets sold, it was like this is like a long time ago, but I still don't think I would do.
You were a
anything
different
insane.
man, yeah.
But people were like, yeah, people don't really go out when it rains because it floods. So
It's tough.
So I was like, okay. So I still had to do the show and like bomb. So I have a sour taste in my mouth about San Antonio, but I think at least like their fans seem more engaged when I'm watching than Oklahoma. You know, Oklahoma fans, like, I'm like, who are any of these people? At least like there's like San Antonio has nuns and there's diversity. Whereas like OKC is kind of just like looking like the Senate, you know? It is like looking like real bad out there.
That's one reason I'm so excited the Knicks are in the finals, because Pacers Thunder was a pretty rough crowd watch. And I'm really excited for like the contrast of whichever West team makes it versus like the just insane side talk MSG shit. Like that's going to be really fun.
Well, this actually,
Totally.
let's talk about this, because there's a funny, this story has kind of come out of nowhere to me. The Knicks Vision team thing where like Knicks fans are going en masse to every other away game, and like there's a couple strange things to tease out. I was talking to Emily Friedlander and Drew Millard of the Emily Cujo pod, and she was really upset about like people being like, New York's such a great sports town, it's blowing up Philadelphia, blowing Philadelphia out of the water, like fuck Philly as a sports town compared to New York. And her point was like, this is a Ticketmaster kind of like arbitrage situation. Like Ticketmaster is just like selling to, you know, it doesn't need to be like this. They can Ticketmaster has decided to unlock the beautiful power of the free market rather than like, you know, deciding more cloistered off groups to sell to. But then you're getting, it's happened beyond Philadelphia. Like it happened in Cleveland. There's this Cleveland explosion, and now, you know, I suspect it will happen at either Oklahoma or San Antonio. And like, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's this like, if Knicks fans do just travel more, is it the Knicks fans? There are just enough really, really rich, really ostentatious Knicks fans that are down to pull up to another state and like wild out. Is it really that the Knicks have been bad for so long that it needs to happen? Is it like a completely made up media thing? And like, you know, it's just because it's getting shown on TV. I don't know. Where do you guys fall on this?
I mean, I've looked at the OKC tickets on StubHub, and because I'm in LA, and I'm like, I could do that. Like I could do that for myself. Knicks tickets are just expensive. I mean, obviously the NBA Finals is going to be nuts, but it's like even regular season, it's like crazy. Like people don't get to go.
Like it's probably cheaper for them to fly to Cleveland and buy. It's like probably half as much, you know.
It'd probably be like $1,000 for where they sat.
Yeah, that's like not crazy. I did like that Jason Calacanis got turned away. That was just like, that was a beautiful, beautiful grace note. Like Timothy was there, and yet the guy who owes Defector $500,000 got his ass turned away. So Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that was a really funny. Just getting fucking LinkedIn posting about how he couldn't buy courtside tickets, and then I did like that Timmy just was able to finesse it. It clearly shows there are levels to this shit. Like,
Of course. Do you think that the Knicks celebrity row, do you think that influence of those like four guys who kind of go to like games everywhere influences the like older head Knicks fans to then also go? So then it's like, okay, there are fans of every team everywhere, but you actually don't see the top like trickle down as much as you do with the Knicks, where you're like, okay, there's these four guys are there, Ben Stiller, Timothy with like Kylie, and then it's like Spike and like Fat Joe or somebody.
Fat Joe was the whistleblower of this thing.
Yeah.
how so?
Yeah.
Well, he was the guy who he went on the radio, and he went on ESPN, I think, and was like, I tried to buy courtside seats for Game 4, and I was told that that they can't sell to Knicks fans or something. He like blew the whistle on the Dan Gilbert involvement. So important.
Well, because Spike was in the second row last night.
Yeah, they like relocated some guys back, but then somehow a bunch of them found their way to the courtside anyway, which I think is very funny.
But those guys don't even pay for tickets really in New York, because I've been with a friend who's taken me courtside Knicks, Ben Allers, Clock Twink, and he's taken me, and I sat baseline this year against Sixers, Knicks. They got smoked, and that's why I was scared of the Sixers in the second round for a second, because I was like, damn, Edgecombe is crazy up front. But that was during their like weird slip up. But like, he just is like involved with that for Penn, and then he messages them to like, and they'll give him tickets when there's like nobody else is there. He's like lower rung, but he's like, moving up.
Right. He's in the universe.
He's on Broadway right now.
I've worked in production for a number of years, and people in general are pretty, comedians, content creators, et cetera. They're pretty down to like speak their mind. People don't want to feel like they're being silenced, right? If like they get notes from an executive. The profound exception in my experience has been if they're worried they're going to get their Knicks tickets pulled. Like the amount of pieces of sports content I have cut out of podcasts because people are scared of Dolan removing their tickets is really
I love Dolan. I love Dolan, and I love the Knicks. I want to be at 4 Penn. I'll do whatever. I'll sacrifice a goat. Like I'll go to Rangers games.
courtside, yeah.
Yeah, it's the last thing we got to get to here. You just want to talk about some of your favorite James Dolan blues tracks, some of his best riffs, Yeah.
Gavin, anything you've got to plug before we get you out of here?
No, man, I just love the pod, and I'm happy to be on it. I think you guys are awesome. I love the pod.
Thank you so much. You're gonna have to come back on. So
shout out to my boy Peter in Seattle, who sent me highlights for babies.
Dude, big shout out
Peter.
Yeah, big shout out to Peter.
Fuck yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.